Tesla is cutting prices in Europe by about $4,000, and these vehicles are not showroom vehicles. These vehicles have basically no mileage. And it's not just one car, it's many vehicles. All of these vehicles are discounted. And it's not just in Germany, it's all over Europe, the UK, France, and other countries too. We'll dive deeper into why this is happening, but first, Alexandra called out Ross Gerber again. Ross, can you please explain, says Alexandra, to us how you can keep Tesla stock as your number one position in your ETF and in your managed accounts, and yet you start bashing the company again. We need to back up a little bit. Here is how the drama started. Tesla is conceding the high end of the EV market while they focus on the masses. Many others will do very well with high-end EVs. This Polestar, I think, looks pretty good. It reminds me of a Ferrari, at least these headlights right here, not these at the bottom here. As a sports car, it sure is quite interesting. I wonder, when will Tesla come out with the Roadster? Is it still coming? They did not even mention it or show it in the Investor Day presentation slide deck. The comment here says absolute perfection. But perfect would be in production. Touche. But if they produce it, it's going to be a serious competitor to Tesla, right? Especially to the Roadster. That does not really exist yet for Tesla. And looks like we are aiming pretty high because the cost is going to be 200,000 USD. That is really expensive. So the market is going to be really small. It must be able to go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in like 2 seconds, right? 3.1 seconds. And only about 300 miles of range. Now, please explain to me, why would someone pay $200,000 for a vehicle that is just as fast as the Model 3 Performance, the exact same 0 to 60 speed, except you have pretty comfortable, relatively speaking, rear seats. And also you can carry a lot of things, relatively speaking, compared to that sports car. You are only buying this for the looks of it. No other reason. So after looking at the specs of this vehicle, I don't think Tesla is conceding the high end of the EV market while they focus on the masses. They are beating high-end sports cars with a regular offering. As Omar's catalog pointed out, Omar, this is a concept car. Tesla continues to lead in selling high-end cars that actually exist. And then Ross says that Tesla can't even sell FSD anymore, if you remember that whole thing with a NHTSA recall. Omar says they can still sell FSD. They are just waiting for the next update before they push to new users. Nobody else is doing anything close to FSD Beta, especially not Mercedes. And it's weird to me that Ross even would mention Mercedes. Ross is saying Mercedes is going for autonomous driving, basically. Although maybe Ross was talking about autopilot, it wasn't really exactly clear. But I made a video about Mercedes supposedly beating Tesla to level 3 autonomy. If you want to get upset, watch this video. Mercedes is not very good. Omar then says they can still sell full self-driving. They are just waiting for the next update before they push to new users. Nobody else is doing anything close to FSD Beta, especially not Mercedes. Ross fires back by saying, actually, no, they are not allowed to enable it with new drivers. The update will take time. FSD still needs lots of work. It is actually very simple to figure out if Tesla can still sell it. I'm at Tesla US. Here's full self-driving capability. Can I add it? Yes, I can. And then I would be able to order it, so all good. However, it is true that Tesla won't ship FSD Beta to new owners until NHTSA recall is handled, which could take a few months. This does not impact the basic autopilot version. This is only the FSD Beta specifically. Omar defends FSD further, but Ross then says, I think we can stop making excuses. FSD needs work and it needs focus, or the government will not let Tesla sell it. Tesla has been selling autopilot since 2014. The government isn't going to stop them now, 10 years later. They understand the power of the technology to stop crashes every day, even though most people don't. I wouldn't have that much faith in the government. I personally have complete faith in the government to absolutely screw things up when you least expect it. That I think we can all expect. I made this video on December 6th saying that I think it is a good idea for Tesla to have a few people protecting the reputation of full self-driving specifically. I don't think Tesla necessarily needs a PR department, but a department that fights all of the FUD about FSD. I mean, this guy, Dan O'Dowd, he doesn't show us any actual data from inside the cars, and it makes it look really bad. I mean, he shows these little errors that Tesla makes, but when it actually goes over a child, he does not show what is happening inside the car. Maybe the accelerator pedal is pressed. I don't know. He doesn't show us. And that was a Super Bowl ad, and Tesla does not fight against it actively. If Tesla fought back a little bit harder, and by a little bit harder, I mean actually fought back, maybe new owners could still pay for FSD and actually start using it. If I can't pay for it and then start using it in beta, I'm not that likely to pay immediately because I can just pay later. So that is going to be actual deferred or even lost revenue for some period of time. Because even though if you, let's say, want to buy FSD before ordering the car and you have the money and the financing ready, but then you realize, oh, I can't use FSD immediately in the beta version, then okay, maybe I'm not buying it, even though maybe later I will. But then later, when I actually want to buy it, it's $15,000. Yeah, how about no right now? We're tight on cash. People's financial situation changes. Ross replies to Omar saying everyone has driver's assist on the freeway, come on. And this is where Alexandra calls out Ross by saying, how come you're bashing the company again? I ask Ross how he can reconcile his criticism of Tesla with the fact that the stock is his #1 position. I never heard him say anything negative about MGM or Microsoft. And Ross fires back by saying they have full-time CEOs. And yet, they are now growing nowhere near as fast as Tesla. I am looking forward to this later being continued on Herbert's YouTube channel. And now back to price cuts. Troy says the reason for the price cut is they are exporting more than needed to Europe because there are not enough buyers in China. Q1 sales in China could be less than Q3 and Q4 despite the price cut on January 12th. And here's what Tesla calls these adjustments. In the UK, they call it a showroom adjustment. In France, they call it a tariff readjustment. In Germany, they call it a price adjustment. And Troy says, what they call it is not important. This is a discount on brand new cars that arrived from China. The reason why these price adjustments are happening is not because the demand is now lower for Tesla vehicles in Europe, is that there are so many more cars in Europe that the demand is just not keeping up with all of the supply because there's so many more cars from China that are now exported to Europe that otherwise would have been sold in China. And here's how the pricing has changed for the Model Y long range. In France, it used to be 65,000 euros almost before the January 12th price cut. Then it was reduced to about 54,000 euros. And now it is just a little bit over 50,000, almost 51,000 euros. Interestingly, Troy does not own or trade Tesla stock in any way. And this guy is now going to be blocked for 1 year. One question I have is this discount or the price reduction, is this only for inventory cars, or if I go to place an order at Tesla's website, does that discount also apply to a newly ordered car as well? So in the UK, Model Y long range, dual motor, all wheel drive, about 50,000, a little bit under, but it used to be 53,000 almost. And if I want to custom order one, then it shows a price of about 53,000. So it's not really clear if this is going to be a permanent cut or just a small temporary promotion. Here's Tesla inventory data in Europe. Notice that this starts at 2,000 and this goes all the way to 4,000. And it was relatively high. And then it started dropping. We noticed the pricing update somewhere around here. And clearly it has been working because the inventory level has been dropping down sharply and fast. We know that Tesla long-term will lower prices. That is inevitable. That is Tesla's strategy. So I wouldn't be worried much until I see the next quarter results and the quarter after that and see how does this affect Tesla's margins. Like I mentioned before, if we have a bad recession, I would expect Tesla to cut the prices even more, which would temporarily wipe out profits. But that would be even worse for all of other automakers, which would allow Tesla to increase its market share. And I just started a Patreon account where I will be posting exclusive videos. The first one is called Warning, Do Not Get Confused. Some Tesla investors did. And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.